Hi there, Perfecto the Caster here, and today I'm building a pedal board out of all this stuff. Okay, we're gonna start with the pedal board. The board I'm gonna use is from GC Rock Boards, made in the Philippines. Okay, real pretty, and I think it's just the right size for touring. I've already set it up and used it on a couple of gigs without the final power supply, and I can say it works. I think I managed to fit like 7 or 8 pedals on here, but final count will be decided on later in this video. On the underside, I have the power supplies. I went with the True Tone One Spot Pro CS7, okay, right here. Fits quite nicely. And this power adapter right here is a 29 volt adapter for the Baroni-Lab Mini-Amp 100. And I've also cut my power cables to custom length, as you can see right there. And this 3 outlet extension breakout box thingy is hardwired to the IEC cable port right here. It's got an on-off switch. Very cool. Okay, here are the pedals I decided on. My guitar input device will be this Shure JLX D16 wireless, and it will go into the Hot One Vowpress wah and volume pedal. From there it goes into the RAT, the Baroni-Lab Rat in Box, which I'll be using as a boost. And then that will go into the Baroni-Lab GD Germanium drive, which I will have set to a slightly heavier distortion. And then from there it goes into the input of the Baroni-Lab Mini-Amp. Now from the Baroni-Lab Mini-Amp, I take the send and I'm going to route it into the input of the chorus. And then from there it goes into the Baroni-Lab, the time analog delay pedal, and then it goes into this Zoom MS70 CDR, which I use for reverb as well as a clean solo boost via the graphic EQ. The reverb will be always on, but I'll be switching the boost in and out using the foot switch. Then with the mono out, I go into the Hot One Wally Looper pedal, and from there it goes back into the Baroni-Lab effects return. Now contained within this pedal board are all my effects as well as my amplifier. So I will take the speaker out and run it into one of these 1/4 inch outputs that I have on the top of this board right here, and that will be plugged into whatever rental 4x12 cabinet that I'll be using on tour. So let's start wiring the pedals. I'm using patch cables from btpa.com, Bestronix Pro Audio. These are the lowest profile solderless plugs that are available in the market today. For comparison, this is a George L, and this is the BTPA cable. You can see how much lower profile that is. Another thing that I like about the BTPA patch cables is that it uses a screw to complete the circuit, and that makes it a little more secure. The other thing that's neat is you can build these cables as short as you need to, kind of like this little guy right here, which I'm going to use between the Zoom and the looper. I have these patches built beforehand. I need a few more, so I'll be building these as we go along. Cue time lapse. I'm going to wiggle these around, get the Velcro to really hook on to the carpet. Then we're going to flip this board over and start running the power lines. Okay, I've wired it up and I've secured everything the best I can. So now is the moment of truth. I'm gonna plug it in. Send power to the pedals and hope nothing blows up. No smoke smell. Let's see if everything turns on. It's good. So, light under the wah. See the Baroni pedals. Ah. Zoom is on. Wally is on. Mini amp is on. Okay. Time for some tones. Here we go. Okay, so let's get into some tones. I'm using my Chapman ML1 hot rod with Perfecto mod, the DiMarzio pickups, a cruiser on the neck, and a dual sound on the bridge. Okay. Strung with Kurt Mangan strings, my signature set. Right now I'm plugged into an Axe-Track isolation cabinet just for ease of recording. Though live, I will be plugging it into a 4x12 with Celestron V30s. Here's my clean sound. This is the sound of the Baroni-Lab Mini Amp 50 in the clean channel. Bridge pickup. Neck pickup. The reverb you're hearing comes from the Zoom MS-70 CDR. So I have a chain where I have it set up with the reverb. And if I engage the switch, it will activate the graphic EQ, which I have set up as a clean boost. For solos and whatnot. So as mentioned earlier, the first up in the chain is my wireless that serves as my input device. And that goes into the Hot One valve press volume and wah pedal. I have the volume set to not cut out completely so that I can use it to reduce the gain from the dirt pedals. And I'll show you how that works in a little bit. But first, here's the wah. Then it goes into the Baroni-Lab Rat and Box, which I have set for a soft overdrive tone. It's actually a dark sounding overdrive, but later on when I stack it with the other drive pedals, it just makes the tone scream. So I'm going to show you that in a little bit. Next up is the Baroni-Lab GD Germanium drive, which I have set for heavy overdrive. It's actually very versatile. If I can roll the tone back down a little bit and use my single coils, it gets into like violin tone territory. This next pedal is the Baroni-Lab Mini Amp. And this is actually the 100-watt prototype. So this tiny little thing right here is actually packing 100 actual watts, not peak. You've been hearing the clean and the pedals going into the clean channel. Now here's a little taste of the drive channel. I mentioned using the rat box as a stacked overdrive with the other pedals, and here's how that sounds. It's interesting how on its own it sounds pretty dark, but as soon as you stack it against another drive pedal or the drive channel of the mini amp, it just makes the sound scream. It also tightens up the bottom end really well, so it's great for those tight percussive rhythm parts. Also plays nicely with the GD drive. Another thing I really dig about these Baroni dirt pedals is how nicely they clean up if you back down the volume. So here's the GD drive full tilt. Lower the volume with the valve press. Lower it even more from the guitar volume knob. Let's try that with the rat box. Great. Now let's go to the pedals on the top row. These are all pedals that are inside the mini amp's effects loop. Okay, so from the effects send, it goes into the chorus and the time analog delay, then into the zoom multi-stomp, and finally into the Hot One Wally looper. Now the chorus pedal from Baroni-Lab gives you an instant 80s chorus tone. The deep switch in the middle toggles between a chorus tone and a warbly vibrato tone. Let me crank up the mix, crank up the depth, and slow the rate down a little bit. Play that with a little bit of drive. If I crank all the knobs to 10 and keep the deep switch down, I get this neat Leslie sounding sound. add a little overdrive and it turns into this demented lead sound. Now toggle the deep switch up and you get even more demented sounds. It's almost out of tune. Lots of fun. Next up is the time delay, which is an analog delay that has beautiful repeats. Let's crank the mix up. And with overdrive, it gives your tone nice soaring space around it. Crank the mix up and you get nice rhythmic delay. And finally, we have the Hot One Wally. It's a simple looper, and its size makes it fit anywhere on the board. Well, that's it. That's my pedal board for the upcoming Arnel Pineda 2017 US and Canada tour. Click on the card to find out more about the tour and the guitar clinics that I'll be holding along the way. That way, if you're in the area, please do come over and you'll hear the awesome sounds that I'm able to pull out of this board live. That's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe and check out all the other videos in this channel. And stay tuned because I'll be posting videos from the tour as it happens. Peace, love, guitars, good heaven and stuff. Perfecto out.